There we go. Okay, testing, yeah.
Okay,
How does this work?
welcome to the Tourism Advisory Committee meeting. It's August 19th. We are starting right at 2 p.m. I want to welcome everybody. We're going to do a roll call.
Keith Chandler.
Linda Weiss.
Todd Harmon?
Ken Heeman.
Bruce Smithson. Christy Poole.
And guest.
Braden Poole.
And Sadie Mercer. And two other guests, Dave Mercer and Finn Mercer. Okay, review of the minutes. Has everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes? And if so, may I have a motion?
A motion. They're okay.
I'll second.
Seconded by Keith. All in favor?
Hi.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Financial review.
Before we go to there, I will say about the minutes, you might notice that they're getting more matter of fact and less descriptive. And that's because we record everything. Okay, and so this point, it's like dictating everything out. I think the city meetings are kind of moving away from having to do that. Just it's strictly what were the votes, what was, what was discussed. If you want details, you can watch videos. So
I think that's the way it should be.
yeah. Financial review, I have some financial reports from the city, but again, it's lagging. We're mostly looking at May stuff here. That's just because this is what city council has voted on in their packets recently, which I've transcribed here for you.
Can you just talk about which page you're on?
Okay.
On some page.
Financial reports are, I should put page numbers on it, but
Yeah, this is the last. Interesting.
yeah. So I can go through these, or you could ask me questions about them if you'd like, whatever, depends on how you like to do it. These bills are all paid already, so, it's kind of up to you and what your interest is.
Let's Lookout.
Lookout is our creative agency that does development of our ads.
Okay.
So our print ads mostly, but lots of digital ads as well. So on this one, we have creative development February through June. Most of that work took place in February, March, April, around then, but this closed out the fiscal year.
So we missed the payment for the weather camp?
We did. It's the payment for the weather camp. Well, we missed it until we paid it in May.
I mean, it's a big difference. I mean, quite a few months. I'm like, I'm surprised they didn't catch it earlier.
Yeah, so we caught it in May, but
Yeah, I would have figured they would.
yeah,
It's just,
it's weird.
Yeah.
Billing is strange because, especially some of
That's
these
not-
large companies,
yeah.
like broadcast companies and stuff, they'll send us a bill. Or they'll send it to City Hall, or they'll mail it, and it's just like
That makes
floats
sense.
around sometimes and gets lost. And I think part of this is the reason why. We build our own kind of parallel finance system to City Hall so that we can keep track of what we've allocated, what we expect, and what we're actually seeing. So then we can locate things like this.
This is from October.
That's what I said. It took a long time, almost a year, that they realized they didn't get it.
No, October to May, so it's about half a year.
Only $58 for office coffee. That's a bargain.
I know. We would have shot where you shot.
It's Columbia River Coffee Roasters. You can buy them in bulk.
That's per cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about 2 months worth of coffee.
That's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Delicious. You gotta do the work and we pour our own coffee, but
As if you'd have it any other way.
It's because I don't know, I'm not aware, what is Seaside Condo Association?
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
yeah, it's very fun.
I knew it.
Oh, the back.
You're truly on the tack now.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so a long time ago when the World Mart was built, there was an agreement reached where the city would assume the responsibility for power for the lower 2 levels, the public parking levels of the World Mart parking garage, and the equivalent of 2 units for some reason that exists in a contract somewhere that was signed when I was, 19.
Right.
That's how they
So
set
when
the
you say
value.
units, like not their little
Yeah,
hotel units or what goes down.
That's where they set the
No.
value.
That's how they set the
Equipment
value of
too.
what they gave us, basically.
So every month we pay, it's assigned to us because a lot of the bed tax comes through our department. That's not so true anymore now that we have a tourism activity fund that Zach and Spencer set up, but when Mark was doing the budget, it always brought it through us. And so that's a historical just remnant where we still pay that through this budget
We pay that every month or?
every month.
Mhm.
Or just two?
For all those parking spots.
It's for
Okay.
public parking.
It's for public parking, we don't actually get the units,
Okay, yeah,
it's just parking.
okay, good to know.
Yeah.
The homeless get the units.
In-
and it's like a lease of those
It's a
parking
lease of that.
spaces.
So they can be revoked at some point. Right,
I
so
hope they do, honestly. But it's an interesting thing and for a long time, there was all these things where that number would fluctuate every year and we'd have no recourse or understanding of why it would go up $1,000 or down $1,000. We're just like, what is going on here? And it turned out when you go back and look at the document that was signed, that there was all these committees that were supposed to be set up to discuss these things. And so it's only within the last year that those committees have actually been set up because we looked at the contract on what is going on here. It's not really anything to do with this department. It's a city umbrella thing that we pay, but we kind of prod because we're like, what's going on here? And
So it might be taken out of these.
I hope it will
right?
eventually, yeah.
Okay.
But it is a professional, or it's in maintenance contracts now, which is actually an improvement because it used to be in our professional contractual. And just eat it up immediately, so,
Yeah, cause that's a big payment.
yeah.
Huge.
And then do you have the
How many
committees
years have
now?
we
We
done?
are doing the committees now.
Women committees.
Is it
Oh,
both?
no.
Zach is on it. It's Zach is the city representative. He's our finance director. And then there's the general manager of the World Mark. There's some other World Mark representative who's in Las Vegas. And then Mark Tolan, who's the board director or something of the condos there or something. That's the group. And it sounds like they are working on putting in, they're working on resurfacing, protecting some of the sealant that they have in the parking garage, and they're also working on putting in security cameras and stuff like that. So some of the funding, that is all goes into what determines this cost. But we're now part of that, whereas before it was just kind of happened.
Is like building maintenance, like pressure washing, because the outside is in really bad shape, so like is that part of that committee too, if you know?
I know it is some weatherproofing, so I would think that might be involved, but you might talk to Mark or Zach because they sit in on those meetings every 2 months. I just pay the bills.
Yeah,
Do we know how many
Graduate.
parking spots we get for that $7,000?
Oh, yeah, it's 2 floors, but I don't know how many it is to tell you the truth.
It'd be nice and cool. I'm surprised Rick doesn't know.
If you got there early enough.
We can go count them tomorrow.
And there's also
And
electric
it was
charging
over
there
50.
as well.
Oh, charging station?
Yeah. So when people call me and ask for it.
It's one of them.
One,
It's one of them.
two, there's two there, right?
One I think is up on the page.
Yeah, one paid, one is the one that we public have. It's one of them.
so the paid,
It's very-
not everybody can go into the paid section, it's just Wyndham folks, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yes, you already have to have.
yeah.
Good
Thank
question.
you. Thanks for the
Yeah,
explanation.
great question. Anything else in there that you want to know about?
Well, what's Destination Lab? We probably already told us.
That is the, for 3 years, we have done a resident sentiment on tourism survey with Oregon State University. And the first year, it was paid for because we went in as part of the Travel Oregon grant. We were one of the destinations that was awarded money for that. So now for the last 2 years, we've paid to continue that because we have a benchmark and we've seen how it moves.
Okay.
And that meets city council goals and stuff like that. It's a really good program for us to have.
And that's a one time, once a year, right?
It's an annual, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's probably why I haven't seen it.
And I think if you go onto seasideor.com and go to the industry section, we have the the results posted. It's interesting to see how things are changing on that front, but Seaside, if I had to put it into like a short statement, is relatively well positioned for a mature destination. Lots of other towns, tourism is perceived as having a lot more drawbacks. Seaside, I think those drawbacks are recognized, but also a lot of people recognize the benefit that it brings. So relative to other destinations, Seaside's doing pretty well. Yeah.
That's good. to know.
Okay, expenditures, I have two here. One is from last year, so it's through the end of June. And it's been updated since we last talked. I think everything is in here now. And I just want to point out, if you look at the totals for materials and services, on an almost $890,000 total, we spent it to within a 0.5%. So, it's kind of like, we don't have full control over all these lines, so it's a little bit like, surfing or something, you know, you're anticipating things and kind of changing course throughout the year, but also keeping an eye on the things we do control very squarely and trying to spend it within reason, but not going over budget. So 0.5 percentage point on that total. Pretty good. The new fiscal year is on the next page. It was through the end of July. I messed up the spreadsheet there on personnel services and then put in the year-to-date expenditures, but it is 7.86% for this point in the year. Materials and services is at 8.47%. There are two items that I noticed in the budget that are both need to be reconciled before the end of the fiscal year, and both result from the city council approving more money for things and our budget not being adapted to take those into account. So one is in the contributions and donations line, we have budgeted again $54,000, which is the same as last year. However, the city council voted to give David's chair $14,000 this year instead of $7,000. So that means we're overdrawn on that. We will be overdrawn on that. And unfortunately, that's also where we get our arts grant money. So
That's why we have less money right now in ours.
yeah, but that's just on paper. It's going to be reconciled in the year. So that money, that 44,000 will have to go up. And then the other more impactful one is the chamber. I don't know, what does COM mean? Chamber COM, community or something? Business license, former business license.
Yeah.
64,000.
Right.
The chamber gets what, 39,000 plus fireworks.
Plus 25.
Yeah,
It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, that's what we usually get,
yeah.
but that's not what,
So this year, the city council voted to 40,500.
right,
Didn't adjust this line, and so we're out about 15,500 on that one.
but it shouldn't have come out of that fund.
It is coming out of that fund. They just are paying this with bed tax now. So they switched how it was funded, which doesn't impact us. However, they didn't adjust the total line, so we are impacted.
Yeah,
They're gonna fix it.
which explains why when I called about the bill being paid, then it was a big question as to why I was billing you for that amount.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get that bill even though we pay it. Someone at City Hall got it and I saw it and flagged it and said, yeah, we pay that, we'll pay it. 'Cause this is where it comes out.
That was where it was originally.
Oh, I know that's where it was originally,
Yeah,
but I thought that whole thing was that it was going to be switched off of your budget.
I think what they were switching is how it's paid.
Yeah.
For business license fees.
This amount isn't, I don't think business license anymore. I think it's TLT.
Right, but what was business license fees? But sorry, I guess I was talking about fireworks.
Yeah. I know.
But yeah, anyway.
Fireworks used to be in our promo event,
Yeah.
promotional events.
Yeah,
But now it's in a chamber business line or whatever there. So anyway, on paper. We're short, but it won't be, that'll be adjusted, Zach said it'll adjust it before the end of the year, so we'll just have to watch those lines and ensure that by the end of the year that gets adjusted, or else we'll definitely be overdrawn. And I showed him, I said, you did it within 0.5 percentage point last year, I need that money. Okay. That's fine for everything.
So staff update.
I think most of you have heard me mention this at meetings over the last couple of weeks, but our visitors are coming from everywhere. We've had people from 5, 6, 7, 8 different major foreign countries. Not including Canada, but we've had Canada. And then all over the country, a lot of Midwest and South, which is a whole new weird thing. Why so many of them ended up here. Again, Oklahoma today, Virginia. New York yesterday. I mean, they're everywhere. It's really interesting, and very fun. A lot of people in Oregon and Eastern Washington, obviously escaping smoke. And then we had a lot of people who were, had plans. This happened during volleyball. I heard about it afterwards. But apparently a lot of people had plans to go hike at Camp up at Mount Hood, and when they had that Meadows evacuation or to stay clear, a lot of people chose to come to Seaside and do the trailhead. So I think at one point we were estimating there could have been 7 to 10 different groups camping up at the hikers camp, which was yeah, pretty interesting. Must have been fun. But 7 cars got permits and were parked out here while people did the trail. So that was kind of neat. I like that they pivoted and came to Seaside. And then months ahead of schedule, I think we set a record. I'm going to mail out the last of our polybag guides this week. So we've already started stuffing envelopes and labeling postage. Nate came in today, our Sunday part-timer, and I went over that with him. It's like, if you're saying Sundays are busy, so hopefully he has a little time to stuff. But yes, surprisingly, Sundays have been really busy. And again, people from all over the place are coming in on a Sunday, so it's great. Even if it's 4 hours, it's great that we're open. It obviously serves a purpose. And Nate does a great job of detailing what they're in for. Like we try to keep notes of, completed treasure quest, that kind of stuff. And he just gets extra thorough. I told him, I'm like, don't feel like you have to do it unless you want to. He goes, no, it's just kind of fun to talk about.
He locks it on a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully he'll get to stuff some envelopes, and I've already ordered more labels and more envelopes, to finish up the year, because it looks like we're just gonna be on average about 500 a week till the end of the year. And usually we would drop to about 250 now. By October, we're waiting every other week because we're not hitting our 200 max that we need to do the shipment. So this is different.
It is.
New territory, kind of fun, and it's so
Something
great.
to get more polybags.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So at this point. Fully 1/3 of the guides that have gone out are going direct to mail order homes.
Wow.
Which is a much higher ratio
Yeah.
than we've had in the past, at least while I've been here. So we've had 20,000, I think, that we're hitting now.
And I did mention at chamber this morning, so then you heard it at all, actually. I learned from Josh, the meta leads are not just like some of the leads we used to get from, I don't know, we used to get leads from places where if people just tacked on, oh, interested in the coast. Well, then we get the order for it. I learned on Meta, they actually fill out an order form for the Seaside visitor guide. So that made a big difference in my opinion of the Meta leads. I thought they were just throwaways, but they're actually people filling out a form to get our guide. So I just thought that was
It's pretty amazing that many people a month spend
over
time doing
300,
it.
yeah, close to 400 sometimes a month. So and that's all Facebook and Instagram, right? Or just Facebook?
I think it's Facebook and Instagram. And I think our totals to date this year are Travel Oregon, I think, is the most we've gotten. Because there's a much larger machine that we're working through stuff.
Thousands of
Right. And the next highest would be Meta, the next highest is their own website. leads, and those combined together have been 20,000 this year so far. And the cost per acquisition on the title leads is really reasonable. We're running at like $1.78 or something for those per guide. If you consider that if one out of 10 people from that get those magazines come to Seaside, it'll pay for 100 people getting a guide, you know. It's really running at a really cost effective rate. And Meta has all these I don't know how accurate they are, but they rate all these different things as far as like how successful is your ad, how affordable is your ad, is your creative good, and we were running above average in all the categories for this particular one. It's just really seems to be working well for what it is.
And then the only other thing, yesterday, Beach Towel Tuesday, same as usual, there were 5 different families out front waiting. We opened the door. So everybody got their towels, and then a little bit later, this other family shows up and the kids were really excited. So Greg slipped the 6th one, we only 5. But he did go extra, and that was great to see. I mean, people are still at it. Dawn called me right before coming here and asked how many we have left because she sold out and wanted to know if she should be ordering more. I said, hell yeah, because people want them. So, and the way she's selling them, that was great to hear. So more towels will be coming soon to Crafted in Seaside. Man, that's all I have.
Can you have any sense of like where they're hearing about it? Like, are they seeing posts or?
It varies. It seems like, I mean, Greg interacts directly. I know that one time there was a couple in and they said, oh, we've already got that. It's our one sheet. So they were in town. They knew that they were going to come back and do it, but it was like a Friday or a Monday or something, you know, so it's like, do you want the info? I know we've got that. Social media?
I have a hunch it's our event calendar.
Oh, yes, and then it's in the newsletter and the Thursday turnaround as well, so maybe it. But it's not for locals, so word must be getting passed on from staff at places.
Are they all coming from Ruth's or?
No.
A lot of them go to craft it for us.
Yeah, that was fun yesterday. Two of the different families as they were walking out, the grandma of one family, she put the towel on like a shawl, did a little scarfy wrap, and then the dad of the other family made a cake. Not the kid, the dad did the kid. And then they got their chair pictures, you know, so that was pretty cute.
Do you do chair pictures with all of them?
No.
Do you take pictures of them holding their?
No, but I think everybody does. They
Oh,
get
yeah.
their towel and they go out there and they take pictures in your chair. They've been waiting a while too. They've already taken pictures, so. But yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, let's take a look at the monthly stats. Feels like it's been busy in the visitor center, but relative to past years, it's still slow. So July, we were down about 100 visitors from the previous July at 1,100, 13%, running about 7% below 2025 to date. Phone volume was down this month. Our direct mail leads were up 23%. Total distribution is about even with last year. But like I said, our distribution has been much better mix as far as quality. Active web users were about equal with last year, sitting around 49,000 people on the website in July. Email signups were up 30% July. Our visitor guide requests on our website were down 47%, but that's because they've shifted to Meta. And our views per active user are down about 5%. Lodging stats for Clatsop County in October were positive. 5.6% revenue growth, at least for the STR report there. And I did get bed tax for the last quarter of 25-26, 1.8 million for hotel, 742,000 for BRD. Total for the quarter, 2.6 million. That brings us up to almost 9.3 million combined for the whole year. That is a 3.9% growth of the last year. It's what? Wow. Inflation. I don't know if that's final, to tell you the truth, though, an initial note, so we may get a few more. Pretty soon.
It is hard to say if that increase is rate increases. Versus occupancy increases, right? Like we
Yeah.
don't have any way of actually tracking occupancy increases.
The only occupancy data I get is on the county level. On a month-to-month basis, and I just don't know how represented Seaside is in that, you know, Ruth, you have in your report a little bit.
Yeah, and it's, like I said, it's overall county, so it's not like it really shows Seaside. Yeah, how many more, extra. When we're a big chunk of it, when I've invested, went into it and dug deeper, but it doesn't really break it down that far enough to tell for sure.
So the two lodging representatives in the room, how is your rates according to last year?
We usually have about a 5% increase on rates annually.
And that was the case.
We choose that.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the winter time, we're having to dip lower. Like lower than we have before, at least this last winter. We had to reduce rates significantly to get anybody in. But as far as our average for our summer, we increased about 5% annually.
Right.
And so our breakdown's a little different, however, I feel like, as a whole, we try to stay pretty, set most of the way through. We haven't shown that big of an increase though, because again, our customers are repeat ones for the most part, and we're smaller. At 22 units, I can pretty much control that matrix a lot better than somebody who has 100 or 75. So yeah, it's a little different, but for us, this summer has just been a more unique summer, just because it's not been sunny and hot every day. So you're playing that game of, do they stay or don't they stay? But this last month has been very different because of school going back early. Because people are packing it in, like we discussed, Wednesday where it would make that drop. I'm starting to see where Wednesday is starting to even out. It used to be that you always have Wednesday where nobody, middle of the week, nobody really stayed, but I'm starting to see an increase now. So, but schools, in for a lot of places, and school's gotta be in.
Schools are in already.
Yeah.
For us, June was really soft, and beginning of July, first week of July was really soft. And then it started ramping up, and now we're pretty much at capacity. But June was really soft.
Yeah. But again, I feel like that's because people are starting to realize school is going back early in, so a lot of kids in the Portland area are already back in, so they're hoping to squeeze that last weekend in or that last before.
Well, so for the county in June, at least the county numbers
Right.
and STR reports, it looks like occupancy was up 1.6 over the previous year. And RevPAR was up almost 8%.
Yeah.
For the count. No, again, it's just, there are definitely some particularities about each.
Well, and
destination.
then there's things that have happened in lodging too, like certain hotels, especially when you look at the county, because like the Shiloh in Warrenton went down. And there's been some other things have changed, and some of the hotels in Astoria have gone to not being temporary lodging like that.
But we don't even know which properties are participating. in
Right,
this.
and that's what I'm saying, so some of these guys have actually fallen off the star report because they no longer are representative of that. So then you look at that and with rates and stuff, you could look like you're seeing an increase.
Like, is Norblad not? Are they not reporting anymore?
What happened with Norblad?
It's under contract right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're selling.
Mhm.
It's currently a hostel, right?
No,
Yeah,
it's
But we know it's haunted.
not. No, it's just not every room has a bathroom.
That's tough.
It's hard to rent rooms without private bathrooms. Yeah. So it was up for sale.
Yeah.
Got to recap some of the Rose Festival sponsorship. 2026 Junior Parade moved to the weekend this year for the first time. It's held a little earlier on May 30th. Typically held in June.
Yes.
Change helped boost attendance with an estimated 30,000 people participating in and watching the celebration. Once again, the decoration station was decked out in Seaside branding and staff members walked the route prior to the parade, hyping up Seaside, handing out travel guides and goodies. Seaside also received sponsorship recognition in print and PJX Parent Magazine as part of this package on the Portland Tribune website and in an e-newsletter to participants. The Rose Festival hosted about Seaside on Instagram and Facebook on May 27th and again on June 3rd. Probably the biggest bonus though, again, is going to be, besides the participation in the parade itself, was a 60-second Seaside commercial that aired during K2 telecast of the Grand Floral Starlight Parade and on the live YouTube stream, which I've got a screenshot of down there. Nielsen overnight data showed the broadcast reached 80,000 viewers in the Portland DMA, which seems kind of small to me, but so that seems small viewers for a viewership broadcast.
Well, I think, because people are streaming and stuff more now, it's not so much of, I still think we're viewing.
Because they saw huge increases in
Where's
in-person
the-
attendance.
Right, but I don't feel like people are actually staying home and watching it as much, especially when they can find them,
Yeah,
because this is the first year for
Yeah.
that, where, it's a little
it
different.
sounds like they're gonna keep that.
They said that funding wise, it's been a better choice of how you use it, yeah.
It looks like it, and they said it averaged more than 40,000 viewers over the duration. Also want to recognize two summer advertisements we currently have out in the wild. I might have even mentioned this in a prior TAC meeting, but we got these free last minute or value added placements from our partners and collaborators. As a general rule, we do not allocate advertising budget to Seaside summer months for obvious reasons. First up, Oregon, Idaho's AAA VIA magazine ran a full-page Sandcastle season ad in the July-August issue. This is out right now. And they even honored our premium first page placement. So if you pick up the magazine, you're definitely going to see this. And so that was really nice of them to give us this. The Oregon Coast Visitors Association also included a text ad for Seaside in its July-August email blast to subscribers. The email was appropriately themed 10 places for family fun. And although Seaside was not among the names in the article somehow, like, I don't know how you dance around that. That took some fancy footwork, but showing up as one of the email's 4 text ads, and I have a picture of it down there on the bottom of the page, was a nice bit of added exposure. This is a text ad, by the way. It says text ad, but it's a photograph, a linked photograph. It's just a small bit of text. This is very common in email newsletters. And then lastly, although it's not an ad, our friends at Willamette Week included an awesome feature on Seaside in their annual 2026 summer guide. The article begins on page 18 and runs for 4 pages, making a complete case for why Seaside is an unbeatable family destination. Also includes a variety of photographs, including a beautiful sunset shot we got from Brager during our most recent advertising shoot. And Christy, I think they have a picture from you in there too.
Yeah.
And I think it says Christy Poole.
Yeah, oh, really?
Yeah, courtesy of
Oh, I
Christy
didn't know.
Poole. I think so. Or maybe it says the mall.
I know they reached out and they wanted a photo and I didn't have any, and I went out and just grabbed one with my phone. I'm like, this is the best, because I only had like 48
There you
hours
go.
notice.
There you go.
It wasn't a really good picture.
Well, it ran. It looked good.
It's good enough.
I was just sitting here thinking, I need to get a professional picture taken of it. Not the building.
Ah, you run it through AI, it's fine.
Gosh, that could be something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
We got-
there's a lot of seal pictures in there too.
Yeah, a lot of seal.
There's at least 2. So
Ours are just ones out on the beach.
Yeah, you walked up one.
yeah,
and then to do.
you walk through to the side. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good article. It's kind of funny. I mean, it's typical Willamette Week, like tongue in cheek, but you know, they rate all these places based on like how much fun your kids are gonna have, how much fun you're gonna have as an adult, you know, and so the things kind of change over the different destinations, but overall, there's always something for everybody, which is kind of a really nice takeaway. They use the word kitschy at one point, but as far as things go for Willamette Week and Portland Monthly and things like that, it's really comes off very positive and not too backhanded compliments, which that kind of media is really good at doing. I know, I used to work for Willamette Week.
Okay, and then tourism grants.
So we got 2 of them. Museum is applying for money to put banners on the bridge over there.
Down.
Yeah.
Christina, your tree killers.
So I print it out so I can read it. I can't. So it's on the computer.
Me too.
So this is under community parks and vitality. There is 9,683 remaining. This ask is for 3,452.
Thousand request, was that the SDA one?
No, that was a request that came from a woman from California who proposed putting a mural somewhere, but she didn't complete her application. Seemed really interested on when she found
This,
out
this wasn't the one in the Gilbert building,
that was.
that was different.
That was
right?
last year.
Yeah.
The mechanic watershed.
Oh, yeah, no,
Um,
they never,
So I did wanna ask, maybe I'm. So last whatever, last grant. Program timeline. STDA was awarded the 11,500 for the, or what, 11,000 for the alleyway,
yeah,
and they kept that.
they kept it.
Okay,
They
for some
received the
reason,
money,
for some reason I thought that. Because the project didn't,
they received the money
I don't know, it's-
and, I think what you're thinking about is Mechanical Watershed Council was trying to get a mural as well, but it turned out that. They weren't gonna be able to get it within the time frame they needed, so
Yeah.
they were invited to apply this year. But then their director left or something, so I don't know where they're at with that, but.
cause what is the timeline again for the
Well,
use
you-
of it?
The idea is that it's spent by the end of the fiscal year.
Like,
Now, once the money's dispensed, we don't have a lot of. We don't have a lot of levers we can pull except for. We can't give out more money, so the problem currently for STDA is that until the docs, they close that grant by submitting a final report. On how they've spent that money and everything, or they're not allowed to apply for a next grant, which is going to impact Halloween happening.
Gotcha.
It doesn't happen soon, but they are progressing.
for some reason, I thought we had talked about. Like getting that money back because there wasn't really a timeline when it was completed. I mean, I'm glad they're kept it and it looks like they're moving forward, right? But I thought that at one point we had discussed that money would have to be allocated out of this
I
year's.
think I asked Zach if that was the case. And the answer was if they hadn't got the money, then we wouldn't give it to them, but if they already had the money. It's just, they
Gotcha.
can't apply for another grant.
Okay, so we did spend the majority of that 25,000 last year then, right?
I think it was. Was it?
Around, or it was,
I remember that there was like maybe 9,000 left over or something.
yeah, cause well, let's see, so the
So we
chamber
spent
was
the-
almost 7.
Right, and I
And then-
think but we did spend the majority of it, I mean, I think we had like 7, maybe.
Well, so I mean, so SVD would be 11 and then chamber would be almost 7, not entirely, 6, 8 or something like
Yeah,
that.
so it was.
So then there wasn't anybody else though.
No, it was just those two.
Yeah.
Watershed was
Right,
pending.
Yeah.
And I think the TAC voted to award them.
We did, and then. with the-
Assuming they could come up with a location or something, or get an agreement from Gilbert Building, that's what it
Right.
was.
gotcha,
But they couldn't do that.
right.
And so they didn't get the funds.
Yeah, I was concerned that if we still had, if we had not awarded them already SDDA. And now that they're closing in on that project start, that we would need to make sure that there was enough funding in this year's, sorry, that was a long way around getting to the actual point.
Yeah, but no,
Sorry,
it already.
that was the kind of the point, is to make sure that like, before we move forward on anything else, that there was enough funds for that project, so.
Yep.
Right.
Glad that's not a factor. Did they say, or did I just miss how many banners that it actually is accounting for? Is
Four banners.
that it?
I think it's the 4 poles. Yeah, I think.
No.
I think
We're like
2
four
banners.
banners, 8 full.
Yeah.
Banners.
Have you seen the old
Yeah.
equipment that's still on there?
Yeah. Yeah, I priced those at one point to
To
do
redo.
no, to do temporary ones for events on the prom. Down the prom,
Yeah.
anyway.
Mrs. Smith, to start your rent.
Yes.
It's like the money is mostly in the hardware.
Yeah.
And then after that, when these are weatherproof. If they take a beating, they are going to be replacing them with their own money after. They're committed to keeping them.
I remember if I asked that.
For hanging those. It's like the ones, I mean,
Because we had some down in Downey Park that came down, we had banners on.
and the Quad Tap Park had a couple.
Yeah, I mean, that's about how some of the
I
hardware.
remember Robin and banners back in the day. Oh, ambassadors. That's what that was.
And they
They
said they
changed
changed
out like
these.
4 or 5
Yeah.
times a year.
Yeah, no, it looks at them, yeah, the hardware's, not useful.
The ones that are up.
Yeah.
I might have some of the upstairs that were in the movie. Might not be.
If they're anywhere, that's where. If you're missing.
Well, I know where they are.
Seriously, the aquarium, it might be there. Or the basement of the Gilbert building.
Recommendations. Motions.
So it's just on Pearl Harbor Bridge.
4 banners, the brackets, freight.
Banners. Banners are pretty inexpensive, yeah.
Yeah, for 70. Up the side of,
Yeah.
then, thanks to the brackets for those.
Yeah.
But it's just one banner per. Per pole, like it's not.
With two sides.
And double banners, right? And they.
Right,
were
they're
they
double sided.
Two off the side, no, I know they're double sided,
But, yeah, there were 2 off of each one originally.
that's what I thought, yeah.
Originally. And then freight.
It is, yeah. And I picked one for free and.
Yeah, well, we all pay for it.
Yeah. Pretty good for free.
Someone was kind.
I like this idea, I. Look forward to solution to reward it.
Okay, motion to award $3,452. Is on the table. Looking for a second.
I'll second that.
I'll let Ruth second it.
Second by Ruth, all in favor,
I.
all opposed. Okay.
Yeah, right, one more.
Cool. Big tester,
Right.
It goes down
Yes.
they're down there on the.
I look at
December
it
7th
Yeah.
every year on there.
I walked by, I was like, there was something there.
This one is a repeat, so the indigenous gathering, is more funny to the past. This is a repeat, looks like April 30th.
We didn't fund it, the last event, we didn't or do any.
I believe you did fund it at, I think at that.
Yeah, they put 2026, but they must have meant 2025. Yeah, that's.
And what was that?
Wasn't it in the spring?
So they go and they have this, did you read it before? They go and they harvest like tree bark and all different kinds of stuff and then they make weaving baskets. But if you look at it, it looks like it's a private event.
Right.
And I think you have to be a tribal member, they get invited. And it was 5 hotel rooms. So I don't really see how this equates.
Yeah, it was
with heads
13
and beds.
nights, yeah, was it?
For 5, yeah. And then what they want, 3,000. And most of that is going just to salaries of.
Of the NCLC.
Mhm.
Under describe your project, there's an interesting paragraph that says. Due to the nature of this 3-day gathering, inevitably event participants stay overnight in Seaside as well as shop and eat out locally. We anticipate, this is important, bringing in a similar mix of travelers to the event and anticipate the same number of participants. In
Yeah.
2027 from previous years, all of which. So. It doesn't seem like material change from
No.
last year, in a sense. Which I recall you folks saying that this is something that you wanted to support, but that.
But we wanted it to grow,
Grow.
and that doesn't sound like that's happening.
Even better if we would have at least one particular event or something.
That everybody's to go to.
Yeah.
I noticed that too, but.
They have quite a resources. Maybe this would happen and I don't want.
Hard to pick out though what the resources are, what resources
Their
are,
land.
yeah, which are dedicated to specific reasons by law.
Well, I was looking at their cash. Yeah. Their brokerage account funds. And then their petty cash. I mean, the brokerage account, they have almost 6 million. And then discretionary funds and savings, they've got 500,000.
I don't know that it equates the number of visitors to Seaside that we would hope for a new event.
It says in 2026, we nearly doubled attendance from the prior year. But it doesn't say what the attendance from the prior year was. Maybe I missed that.
I mean, net income was 1.8 million too, and. Yeah, I just think that there are other entities that might. Benefit more. Not have a backup like that.
And again, it's not open to the public.
I kind of feel, I feel like they're they come from the public.
All the
too.
other, yeah, all the other, events are welcome, everybody's welcome, they're on the beach, there's not, they're in a. Everyone welcoming, salt and cruise, that kind of event, all of it. So I. It private.
I would recommend not funding this for the requested amount.
I would second that.
All in favor?
I
All opposed?
I do not have any new business this month. However, I did want to let you know that, I will be, creating a draft charter for the TAC based on the spreadsheet you submitted. And then I will present it to you. I will try to get it done for the next meeting and you can vote on if that's what you want to send to the city council or we can make changes or whatever. Basically, I've been assigned to take the sheet filled out and apply it to a draft template of charters that the city council has moved forward with and approved. And so I'm gonna do that for tax vision, and I guess I have to do that for my own vision, which is closely related to vision. And then we'll discuss it, I guess, next month. However, I don't have the copy you sent you City Hall filled out. It's, if you think about it, could you email it to me?
I would, except that was on my computer that died a very severe death. So,
I can hound City Hall for it.
Yeah.
Cause they have it as well, but
You don't remember it?
I could look, I might have
Remember my-
a paper copy of it.
filled out, filled
I
out.
don't remember
I
this
think I
morning.
printed it out and it might be in my folder in my office.
Well, if it's easy,
I'll look
then
for it
let me know. If not, they have it for sure. What they do have in the folder that I was given is the like answers, the ultimate answers along the left-hand side, but none of the reasoning that went along the right, which I feel like was all the work that was in it, so. I don't have that filled out copy, so I'll get that, but we'll try to discuss that next month.
And then, I guess I would like to chat at some point before we start working on budgeting stuff for the year. I would like to chat about us, potentially being the body that requests, a surf rake. A surf rake, a beach.
Oh.
Beach Zamboni.
Beach
Okay.
Sand.
Okay.
You mean through the budget process next year?
Do budget process, yeah.
So,
That could be a committee call.
I
fine,
just wanna start early.
yeah,
On it.
fine vehicle, I think, for that.
And then also potentially being the entity that requests a and maybe this will just happen through Public Works too, but an entity that requests DOT money for the addition of power at Avenue A ramp. For the events as well. So both of those things I already talked to Spencer and Public Works, but now of course, since Paul's gone,
There's no power there?
there's not. The only power is at the base of the round turnaround. There's water there,
Okay.
but no power. So the reason that I really asked is that our event alone spent about $9,000 in generators and feeding the generators for the event. So yeah, just with ours and the coast and other events that could use power down on the beach. It seems like that could be savings overall and make things a lot easier. I think that was all. Okay. Public comment. You guys want to say anything?
What did you say?
Nothing. Anything from you?
Nope.
Okay, well, then we will call this meeting adjourned at 2:54. Okay, is that a record?
Yeah. Good record.
Bye, Sam.
See you guys.
Bye, Seth.
Nice.
Yeah.